So this is a narrative collection. I am fascinated by narrative poetry just as an art form. I find it to be so interesting in the ways that different people approach narrative poetry and the stories it can convey. So I wanted this to have a kind of running theme going through. I wanted this to feel like a story with a sequence with people who you learn about through these poems. And family, of course, the book is called Keep It in the Family. Family is an important theme here. So this is the poem, which is honestly the only reason anyone even knows who I am these days, because it's featured in the National Poetry Competition for some reason. This is 11 Years of May. A feet of it A pertains a gherkin. I was cross-legged on the floor, bordering on 5 years old, when death was just a thing that grown-ups did, like holidays or weddings. We ate dinner in Sudoku silence, savouring the council house delight of fish and chips wrapped in the metro, and my father's entree, his pungent batter sticks, appears to captivate me. You always want what you can't have, he said. You won't appreciate it. I whined until he caved, and the ascetic fire sent me rolling to the floor, scratching at my tongue while everybody laughed. No one could blame me. At dawn, Mother smiled from the door as I split branches with my brother in the garden. 20 years between us, and we still pretended these were swords, that we were gladiators. A feet of it B pertains to suicide. I was cross-legged on the floor, bordering on 6 years old, with plastic bricks and model trains to normalize my isolation, the way you let a new fish float for 15 minutes prior to release. Knock. My mother rose, crossword left unfinished, and spoke quietly with men in lime green jackets. The house turned sepia that day. My recollection is in Kodachrome. Your brother always loved you, she said. He loved all of us, always, but not himself, because he did drugs. Colin, named so because the midwife asked what they were calling him. That's my mother's sense of humour. A feet of it C pertains a haunting. The lights came at the foot of summer's door. They'd manifest in droves, patchy frames of green and yellow, irregularly red, phantom jigsaw pieces blinking on and off. They outran me in the hallway, slipped away when I tore through the living room with aeroplane arms, emptying my lungs. Look out, it's Colin's ghost, as Mother wept into her hands. Ghosts exist when you're a child. They mean that no one has to leave if you don't want to. I knew Colin was dying when the lights became ephemeral. For a time, I could still summon them. With only a moment's breakdown, they would swarm like butterflies on bitter honey, because a child's pain is easier to digest, and a single tear is much more tragic than a torrent. I knew that he was dead when the lights had bled me dry, when they refused to answer to an empty howl when I was 17. Thank you.